Yes, everyone. This is Brother Talib, assistant to Brother Talik Ibn Rod of Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Um, I just want to shine some light on the latest events that's taking place in this country, as far as the political. You know, it's been coming up in the news that Donald Trump is causing federal employees to be cut off from their payment benefits, as well as those who are getting veteran checks, as well as those of us who get food stamps, and who knows next if he may start cutting Social Security and SSI benefits because of him, wanting $1.5 billion for this fictitious wall, that he's talking about building between the U.S. and Mexican border. But I'm gonna tell you something. In the equation of all this going on, you know, I mean, Elijah Muhammad was right. One thing he was right about was that it's going to come a time where black people ain't no longer going to be able to depend on America for her substance. And this is definitely a fact. This is nothing fairy tale. Besides, let's leave all the religious aspects of where Elijah Muhammad was coming from out of this. And let's just look at the facts, point blank, clearly, common sense, in what's going on today, which what Elijah Muhammad said in terms of us doing for self as a people still relates to. In this, present day and time that we're living in, and this is definitely a clear indication that we could see that America may be entering into another depression like the one they had almost 100 years ago in the previous century gone by. And this depression, I mean, the way things is looking, may totally change America forever, where America would never be nowhere near the same of what it is now. And I mean, for us, like I said, they get SSI, Social Security, and veteran benefits, and food stamps, and Medicaid and Medicare, and all that stuff. Right now, as it's going down the ladder, they're talking about cutting, you know, some of this stuff one by one, and if it leads to those of us that get monthly payments in terms of monthly income, it's definitely gonna get worse, of course, because I mean you can see what they're talking about, where they're having federal employees like the ones working for TSA that's working without getting paid, other federal employees that's working in different agencies that's working, you know, without getting paid presently right now. They getting notices where they're asked to send those notices to their creditors and landlords, and all this kind of stuff, or begging their landlords not to put them out. I mean, come on. I mean, the landlords and creditors got to make money too. I mean, that's what this society as well as the world evolves around, which is money. So, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, at the end of the day, do the government really care? Especially in terms of us as dark skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. I mean, do they really give a damn about us? I mean, just look at the aspect of what's going on. Look at actually what's taking place. I mean, especially for some of those of you who pay attention to the news. I mean, just look at what's going on. This is not no game. I mean, you've been getting this warning for decades upon decades, and now here it is. I mean, and this is, like I say, this is not coming from some prophetic, saying a spiritual, divine saying. I'm just dealing with what's actually going on. Far as, when it comes to humanitarian crisis, like what goes on in other parts of the world, which we have not seen yet in America, far as the worst aspect of humanitarian crisis is concerned, but that's what's headed our way as far as, in the direction of where this country is going. And I mean, for those of you that want to remain, and I'm speaking of those who are dark skinned descendants of slaves born here in America, for those of you who want to remain comfortable, already in your over 400-year slave like oppression, I mean, what more warning do you need to to that will hopefully wake you up to, like, hey, you know, to the point that we definitely got to do something for ourselves and that we got to come together on one common accord, especially with the project that me and Brother Talik got going, far as this Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign thing, as far as taking the state, you know, in terms of taking over the politics of the state so that it could benefit us as a people and carve out a new existence for us as a people, and for those generations to come behind us. Because other than that, our future here as black people in America is looking very bleak. And I mean very bleak. Dark as it could get, and when it comes to the word of called extermination, that's the direction where we're unfortunately are headed into because of these tales of events, which is leading in that direction because we cannot come together on one common accord, which, like I heard what one sister said in a video that I heard earlier today, which is seemingly impossible because of our mentality, or of course our slave-like mentality, just to simply put it. And we wanna, wallow off in our oppression, live comfortable, or try to live comfortable while the ship is sinking, And I mean, it's like, when I think about this and I see this going on, and it's like, you know, you people thinking, well, it's gonna get better. Well, listen, Democratic or Republic, you know, evidently it hasn't, from both sides looking at both sides, it hasn't really made no difference. Not especially for us as dark skinned descendants of slaves born here in America from the time of the inception of this country up to now. So, I mean, uh, what do you expect? I mean, do you expect for something miraculously to happen? by the wave of you know, blink of a, by a blink of an eye, or by the wave of just somebody popping their fingers. That's something that just miraculously just gonna come out of nowhere and just make our situation better for us in this country. Well, I mean, I have to say in fantasy land if that's what you think, especially for those of you among descendants or dark skinned descendants of slaves born in America that think religion is gonna do the trick, or that God or some divine prophet or savior is gonna come through and do the trick and make this magic trick happen for us. That we all of a sudden gonna be living in a time of utopia, long as we're under the foot of our 400-year slave oppressor. I mean, that's just not reality. We got to wake up. And it's just that simple. That's the only thing I could really just say. People wake up, because things is getting real crazy right now. And I mean, we really, to be honest, especially those of us in this present day younger generation among dark skinned descendants of slaves born in America, including the millennial generation that is among us as dark skinned descendants of slaves born in America. We don't really want to see what it was like in the 1930s, when our ancestors had to live through the depressions of the 1930s. Because, like I said, that's the direction what this country is headed into, especially with the way things is going at this moment, according to the politics and all that other crap, that's happening in this country, and I mean, it's not looking very bright futuristically, especially for us as a people, and I mean, we want to keep playing this game like it is. It's not. I mean, hey, I mean, things is subject to all. Nothing never stays the same. And living in America, and America as a nation itself, is not exempt from this reality. We've seen it throughout human history with other empires like America. America is definitely no different. And I mean, you could keep believing and thinking that it is in that case, but it's just not. I say, especially type of God or divine God or some type of religion that just is going to miraculously just make sure that things don't fall apart, or you know because at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you like this: whether America falls or not, it's not gonna really make a difference for us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. I mean, the die's already been written for us. You know, either we gonna do what we need to do to carve out a future for ourselves without depending on America forever, or just die off and be totally eliminated from existence. Which has always been a plan for us as a people in this country anyway. So like I said before, it's really time that we need to just wake up and see this reality as it's, increasingly being revealed before our eyes and before the eyes of the world to see. Because I mean, everybody else is planning and getting ready for whatever's coming but us as dark skinned descendants of slaves born in America. And This is why we are stressing hard from this platform of Operation Exodus Mississippi that we, in fact, get on this soul train and get on board with this platform so that we can, utilize our voting power, in a place like Mississippi where we're the majority at and wherever else is a big number of us at to carve out a better future for ourselves. And it's just that simple. I mean, it's simple as put. All this other tiddly bit stuff that we get distracted with, you know, is definitely not going to make no massive impact difference on us as a people, as we've already seen. And everything else that we've tried and that's failed us, apparently has shown that it's not worked and ain't gonna work. And ever since me and Brother Tali came up with this idea of Operation Exodus Mississippi, for that reason, no one has been able to dispute, this ideal, you know, of Operation Exodus Mississippi as far as what it contains, in terms of what a great future could look like for us and other generations to come behind us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. So I mean, and no one, and if anything, it's been a lot of people that has been silent throughout social media, and like Brother Talik has already asked you, even if you want to disprove what we're saying from this platform, you know, come on, even if, to the point of wanting to debate us at this platform, come on with it. Let's at least talk about it. Let's get enough boost in talking about it so we could put all these suckers, you know, in check. That's always talking about their ideals better and what they're doing, whether it's coming from Islam, Kemetic teachings, Nuwabian teachings, or Israelite teachings, Nation Islam teachings, or whatever, Christianity, or whatever ideals that they have, whether religiously or so-called non-religiously or whatever, no one has responded to this platform in the ideal that it presents toward us carving out a better future for ourselves for once and for all from this over 400-year oppression as a people. No one has massively come to the point of responding, of even wanting to talk about this. It's been nothing but pure silence. In other words, ever since we came out with this ideal, which was March of last year, 2018, but no one has came out and said anything that could actually disprove what we're saying to be right in terms of our future as a people in this nation. So, like I said before, if you have anything that you think is better, matter of fact, if you even think it's better enough to at least add on with this ideal to help us to carve out a better existence for us as a people, bring it on. I even welcome that. Because like I said, no one has came and said any and found any. They might have said negative things about this platform, like, oh, the Operation of Mississippi campaign is fake or whatever. but they've never said anything effectively that disputes the ideals that's coming from this platform of Operation Exodus Mississippi. You know, and the thing is that, like I said before, it's getting to the point that you know we either wake up and get on board this soul train of Operation Exodus Mississippi, or we just might as well just prepare to be hauled off the FEMA camps, the FEMA concentration camps, and to concentration mass graves that they got waiting for us. Cause I mean they got a plan for us, and we are going to be the first on the chopping block as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. I mean, it's just that simple. When it comes to anything detriment as far as this country go, whether with slavery, Jim Crow, profiling, you know, gerrymandering, we were always the first on the chopping block. And it's going to always continue to be that way in America under this Caucasian racist hegemony, which we've been enslaved under for over 400 years. So I mean, we're gonna have to really wake up to this reality and do something about our existence as a people to better our condition, or like I said before, just prepared to be exterminated, because that's what's coming if we don't immediately do something about our situation as a people in this nation. And like I said earlier, doing for self. That's what it's about, basically. That's what it's all is leading up to. Just like, once again, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of the Nation of Islam said decades ago, that still stands on true ground today. That stands on living true ground today. That is definitely a fact. We got to do something for self. Or, like I said, prepare to be exterminated. I mean, it's nothing, it's nothing else. Either rise to take our rightful places as a respectable people in this society and in this world, or perish. It's just that simple. you know, waiting, waiting on these other people that ain't gonna never do a damn thing for us, whether it's Republican or Democrat. you know, it's just, like I said, that's why we need to organize and utilize our voting power, which is what the purpose of Operation Exodus Mississippi is, to place those ones in there that in fact is going to get the job done for us and in the way of our benefit, you know. And I'm not talking about a halfway job, but that's going to fully get the job done for us to where laws will benefit us. And also where we will be able to be in a position to create laws, like I said before in another video, that even white Caucasians will have to respect and abide by, which has never happened in the history of America, or rather to say the United States of America. So, like I said before, we're going to, really have to do something about our situation. Or, like I said, repeat it again. Utilize our voting power in the state of Mississippi, where it's a majority of us, by starting there to carve out a future for ourselves in the manner that I've been speaking of in this video, that I've been talking about in this video, and then once we complete that mission, then move on to Alabama and Georgia and wherever else we're at as a as a big number of people in this country where we can utilize our voting power to carve out a better future for ourselves. And I mean, like I said, it's just that simple. Unless we're ready to be exterminated. I mean, you see that nobody hardly is getting prosecuted too much when it come to police blowing our children's heads off or blowing any other dark-skinned descendant of a slave born in America's head off just because they see a dark-skinned person standing in their presence and they figure it's okay to blow their head off, you know, without knowing it's not gonna really be no consequences to come along with it. So I mean, this is the reality that we're up against, and I mean, hey, you know, obviously the affirmative actions, these other little tiddly bit things that we supposed to be benefiting from, ain't did nothing to protect us from that, you know. So this is why we must separate and carve out a new reality for ourselves, or just accept our fate of being exterminated. And it's just that simple. It's really that simple. It don't get no more simpler than that. And like I said before, we really don't have time, to be honestly, we really don't have time to be playing around, getting caught up in all this entertainment, sports, and plaything, and all these other little tiddly bit things that really don't matter right now when it comes to the core of our survival as a people. You know, uh, worrying about who's the the baddest star in basketball, football, or boxing, and all that. That don't mean nothing, especially when it's not changing our condition as a people in this country. You know, I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, I watch sports, but I mean, that's not I mean, I don't look at that nor allow my life to revolve around that totally, because that's just not the reality of our existence, you know, in this country as a people. So I don't allow my whole day to revolve around stuff like that. What I'm saying is we really need to get serious as a whole, far as us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, to do something about our condition or just become exterminated. I mean, there have been other people before us. Like I reminded you before in another video just recently. Look at what happened to the so-called Native American Indian. Whether it was 60 some million of them or not, before Europeans settled in this land called North America, it don't make no difference. It was made, whatever number it was way, way more than what it is now. And we see what that led to. Whereas uh, barely are even few of them that still exist in this country. So I mean, the point is that we could definitely be in that situation with 44 plus million of us as dark skinned descendants of slaves born in America. That could be our reality as well. If we do not hurry up and do something about our circumstances as a people in this country. That's all I'm saying, you know. And of course, there have been other groups of people, not just, in this country, but or on this continent, but on other continents throughout this world that have been exterminated or annihilated in the terms of hundreds of thousands and millions. You know, as a matter of fact, there were tribes here in this country that is referred to as Native Americans that we don't even know the history of because they were totally wiped out as tribes. That could be us. That could be us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. And that is unfortunately the direction we're headed into if we don't do something about our situation. I mean, we could keep taking this as a game, just like the Jews of Nazi Germany who thought that, doo-doo didn't stink when they were being warned that one day the Nazis would come knocking at their doors to snatch them up out their houses, to take them off to them concentration camps that they finally hauled them off to, where they eventually start wiping them out, numbers by numbers. However many of them got killed in them concentration camps. But the fact is that it eventually happened, and that's not exempt from our situation. Our situation as dark-skinned descendants of slaves here in America is no different in being exempt from that type of situation, like what happened to them Jews in Nazi Germany. So keep playing. Keep thinking that it's a game. It's not a game. This is real. We are dealing with a serious tyrannous situation here in America. We're dealing with especially what we got, as a president of the United States. And mind you, this current president of the United States uh, is definitely a wake up call reminder to show you that what this country was built upon from the inception of this nation definitely has not changed when it comes to slavery, oppression, racism, Jim Crow, and so forth and on, all that other stuff. It's just laid dormant, but it's opened up, the can of worms once again, just to show you that these things in this nation still exist, just with him being president, and now he's seeming to have his way in doing things that is becoming more of a overall detriment to this nation. That, like I said, is going to affect us the worst, far as us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America being concerned. So, like I said before, we could keep playing this game all we want to, but hey, all I'm gonna say is this: is that you know, Operation Exodus, Mississippi, got time for games. Either you gonna, especially for those of you that think there's a there's a better way than what we're coming with from this platform of Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Well, I simply say to those of you in that manner, put up or shut up. It's just that simple. You know, that's why we're promoting this ideal so that it could be massively discussed among us as a people, so that it could put people like you on hold, on notice, rather to say. To put people like you on notice so that you can either put up or shut up. It's just that simple. It's just that daggone simple, you know, because we tired of these false promises, these false dreams being sold to our people, especially by these religious charlatans among us, as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America that ain't doing nothing but raping and ripping off your own people for the sake of a so-called dollar that's becoming more devalued than ever, you know, that we don't know is going to even exist, if it's going to even exist as a currency tomorrow, the way things is going economically and politically with this nation. But yet, you tearing your own people down, you know, just so you could secure your pockets and bank account and look out for you and your personal family's well-being, and the hell with the rest of us. And you know, with this ideal of OEM, you know, hey, I have to say this, you know, we're here to put an end to all that, you know, because I mean we're tired of this. We're tired of the lies that you use to deceive our people with, even those of you that's coming from the so-called pro-black conscious community who've used these similar type of deceptions that you always talk about these black Christian preachers, you know, of have done or that are doing to us. You know, you make mockery of them, but you're doing the same thing, using lies and deceptions to deceive us, to get our monies, while you get richer and we get poor. I mean, at the same time, when you ain't doing nothing but tearing your own selves down, well as your own people by doing this. And you think you're doing something slick at the same time. You know, I mean, wake up. You're no different from the black Christian pastor. And I say that to those black Muslim ministers, black Muslim imams, black Hebrew Israelite leaders. You know, you're no different from the black Christian preacher when you come with this false religious deception. You know, that you know you're no different. So either, you know, you either, since you claim that you for the people, either put up or shut up. And it's just that simple. We're tired. We want a new way, and we're going to work to you know, carve out a future, a different future for us as a people, even if we die trying. And that's just that simple. Because we're tired. We're tired of this existence, and we're not gonna let you or people of your type stand in our way from being able to do it. So you know, I just want just to point that out. You know, like they say, there's a time for war, and there's a time when it shouldn't be war. Where this is a time for war. when it comes to the battle of the minds. It's a time for war because we're sick and tired of this. You know, whether you're Louis Farrakhan, Creflo Dollar, you know, or the late Bishop Eddie Long, you know, T.D. Jakes, you know, these other religious charlatans among us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. We're tired of this. You're not going to keep on ripping us off, especially when you see our people in this slave-like condition, which is not getting no better for us, especially according to the events and the situation and circumstances that's taking place in this country overall. And all you doing is helping to create a worse hell for us as a people. You're no different than the Caucasian slave master, who you refer to as the devil. You know, if anything, you're worse than them. You know, so like I said before, you know, hey, you know, far as that religious crap that you bring to the table, which is not going to do a thing for our people, you know, personally, you can miss me with that, you know, because I done been in the black conscious community for years, and I know that it don't work for us as a people. And like I said before, you know, either we gonna do something about our situation, or we just gonna, you know, prepare or just might as well prepare ourselves to be exterminated. You know, tell slave master to come on and just haul us off to them FEMA concentration camps and the mass graves that they got waiting on us. You know, it's just that simple. I mean, you know, and like I said, for those of you that watch the news and see what's going on with the country and the state that the country is in, even presently right now, at the moment as I'm speaking, you know, you could keep taking this for a game if you want to. These people called Caucasians that's running things mean business. They ain't playing no games. So it's time for us to stop playing games. And it's just that simple. All this in-house beefing, fighting we got going on among each other over different ideologies and all this other crap. I mean, while the ship's sinking, you know, I mean, all we doing is dragging our own selves down to our own detriment of total destruction with all that going on. So, you know, like I said before, hey, we could keep playing this game all we want to. You know, this is for real. And with that said, I'm going to, you know, end this, you know, video. And hopefully that those of you that are listening in the comment section, I see I have one listening. And I see one dislike. Excuse me, one like. Yes, you know, I see one like for this video, but hey, you know, for those of you in the comment section and the rest of social media land that's listening to this video, hey, you could take these words either way you want, but the reality is what it is, and apparently everything that I've said that indicates that the die has been, you know, put in. The writing is simply on the wall, and it's for you to see for yourself and to recognize for yourself. So, you know, like Elijah Muhammad would say, take it or leave it. But hey, the writing is all written on the wall, clearly for you to see. And if you want to keep playing games like this, hey, you can. And like I spoke about earlier, what Donald Trump is doing could lead to another depression, and probably the worstest of periods of depression that this country would ever face. And what our ancestors saw in terms of the 1930s depression, I don't think any of us, as the present generation of dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, is even ready for that. Matter of fact, we're not ready for that, nor are we even mentally or emotionally prepared to deal with that, or what our ancestors had to go through in that type of situation as far as the 1930s depression. So, like I said, keep taking this for a joke. Keep playing if you want to. It's just that simple. And on that note, I'm going to end with the words of our late brother Don Cornelius: love, peace, and soul.